St Pancras Station is one of London's most iconic landmarks. Like most of Victorian London, it's made out of brick. But St Pancras is brick at its best. It was built in the 1870s, the golden age of bricklaying, when craftsmen used all kinds of bricks in all kinds of artful and imaginative ways. More than 100 years later, brick remains one of the most popular building materials. And in order to supply the building industry with enough, they need to manufacture a staggering 3 billion every year in the UK alone. So how do they do it? It's a grey, overcast morning in North London. And here at St Pancras, veteran bricklayers like Tony Dunn are hard at work on a new extension to this famous old station. It's slow and painstaking work as they try to match the new brickwork with the old.
This is the final stages of the brickwork on St Pancras Station. That is the way it was done 140 years ago, and we've got to emulate that.
But producing enough bricks for projects like this requires one of the biggest production lines in the world, and it all begins in a vast hole in the ground. This is Ibstock Clay Pit in Leicestershire, one of the oldest clay mines in the world. Every day at this mine, they excavate 2,000 tons of a valuable soft clay called Kuiper marl. But there are different kinds of clay to be found here in different seams. The red clay currently being mined is used to make Ibstock's most popular brick, known as the Leicester Red. The clay is transported to the factory nearby. But it's too clumpy to be moulded into brick. So it's fed through these rollers, covered in fierce metal teeth, before being pulverized by huge 14-ton rollers. To get it to the right consistency, a conveyor then feeds the pieces of clay into a huge mixer where sensors monitor its texture and add appropriate amounts of water. When it's the right dough-like consistency, it emerges in big grey dollops. But every building demands different colours and styles of brick. To get these, they don't just use different types of clay, they also mix it with different kinds of sand. Each year, Ibstock get through 220,000 tons of the stuff. And by using different combinations of sand and clay, they produce no fewer than 360 different types of brick, each with its own unique colour and texture. So far, so good. But if you tried building a house with this lot, it'd look like something out of the Flintstones. To prepare the bricks for firing, they need to remove trapped air. That's done by this machine, which replicates a potter's throw by dropping the clay between rollers into moulds 1 metre below. These moulds are between 5 and 7% bigger than the final brick size to allow for shrinkage in the oven. Once filled, any excess is then scraped off the top. But the bricks are too wet to be cooked. So, once flipped out of their moulds, they're stacked in huge 9-metre-high racks to dry. 24 hours later, they're removed, placed onto another conveyor and manually inspected for any blemishes. Only now are they ready for the oven. These huge 100-metre-long tunnel kilns are the height of a house. And they need to be, because each of the 24 kiln cars carries enough bricks to build a 3-storey tower block. These cars creep along at 3 metres every 2 hours. So the first and last days simply warm and cool the bricks. Only on the second day does the mouth of the kiln close to devour the next batch, firing them in jets of gas at over 1,000 degrees Celsius. They enter as bits of soggy sand and clay and emerge ready to take their place in an architectural masterpiece. From quarry to packing has taken just 4 days. Stacked at a breakneck pace of 20,000 per hour, this batch of Leicester Reds is loaded onto pallets and transferred to the warehouse, ready to be sent to building sites across Britain. Back on site, the delicate work continues. Thanks to the artistry of Tony and his team, the extension already seems a fitting, almost seamless addition to London's most famous Victorian railway station. It seems this iconic landmark will be with us for many years to come, thanks to a seemingly simple invention: the brick.